our economic system down, and from tomorrow we will be like the same as Prophet Muhammad 14 years or 1400 years back, and we are doing same as what is told as done by the Quran. See, we have to acknowledge the effort that the scholars are making to reach that goal. The goal is to reach the purest form of Islamic financing. But for that, we have to take little steps. We are living in a world. We are not isolated anymore. It is not that Saudi is Saudi and UAE is UAE. No, they all are connected. Saudi, US, Europe, Pakistan, all are connected. Banking system are all connected. So to be the purest, you have to be doing the things which actually are related to that era. Secondly, when you are dying and you see a haram food in front of you, you say Bismillah and you eat it, right?
What food? Yeah, haram food, yes.
Haram food, right? To save yourself. Right now, if you have money, you cannot keep cash with you. You have to have it somewhere. You say Bismillah, enter into Islamic banking and do it. And encourage the Islamic banking.
Even with interest.
So this is what it is. If you say a market is pure, I say no, it is not pure.
No, Brother Abbas. You're saying, so if I put it in the bank, even with interest, it's halal?
It is not interest, it's profit. Habibi, when Khadija gave Muhammad the trading of the goods, and Muhammad came back, the Prophet Muhammad came back with profit, and Prophet Muhammad at that time was, like Mudarib or something. So, didn't Khadija give Prophet Muhammad the profit? Or the Prophet Muhammad didn't give Khadija the profit? Yes, she gave him the profit.
I don't know about this hadith that you mentioned. Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Have you read the hadith? So first and foremost, you're saying the interest in the bank is profit, right? Just bear with me 1 second, Brother Abbas.
Interest is it's kullu haram.
No, but you're saying it's profit before.
Profit. Munafa.
Yeah, so this is fine. As long as it's an Islamic bank, it's fine?
A munafa is fine because Islamic bank is doing transactions with commodities and everything. Okay? Like Dubai Islamic Bank, they are doing murabaha and there are many things that they are doing with the DMCC. They are buying and selling commodities.
Can I ask you another question, Brother Abbas, please?
If you take loan from ADIB doesn't give you money. They give you shares. They give you shares of, like I took loan from Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank 2 years back, 200,000. They give me shares of 200,000 valued at that day. Okay, I received the shares and they told me that they have a brokerage house. I can sell the shares the same day and I get 200,000. Just give me 1 minute. For some reason, I didn't sell the shares. Okay, I sold the shares after 10 days, and you know what? I received 202,000. I got 2,000 dirham profit upfront because those share values increase. So they deal in commodities. Tell me now what you say.
Brother Abbas, because this topic is long, but I just want to ask one last question, please.
Yeah.
What is the ruling on so for example, if you got a loan, and if you missed one payment, what happens? Do you have to pay a fine?
See, if you miss one payment, you have to pay that thing later.
No, but with a fine though. With a fine.
There is no fine in Islamic banking. Islamic banking sometimes put administrative fine.
Yeah, so it's a fine.
No, you have to listen to me that. Islamic banking sometimes put administrative fines because if Islamic banking doesn't do that, people will take it granted and never pay bank on time. And
Okay.
you know what they do with that fine?
What's that? They
They
give it to charity. Give it to
Yeah,
charity. Okay.
they give it to charity.
Okay.
They don't keep it with them.
Okay.
Because, like, let's say Al-Raja Bank is Islamic bank.
Yeah,
Right?
Raj, yeah.
I go to Al-Raja, I take loan, and I don't give the money back.
Yes.
Because they cannot put any fine on me, as per Islam. But what about that I am breaking the condition of my wa'ad? Like wa'ada?
Yes.
I did the promise. What about that? Where is that? Where is that standing? When you gave your words, you did a wa'ada. That I will pay my payments like this. And when you are not paying, you are doing a non-Islamic thing yourself.
Can I...
To discipline it, they keep a fine and they don't keep the fine to themselves. They charity it. Because if they don't put a fine, people will start taking credit. People.
Okay.
They will never give they will give the loan back after 10 years. Oh,
Okay, but in the meantime, though, the bank makes money from if you take $100 loan, you have to pay back $150. So the bank makes profit $50, correct?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Now, can one question, Abbas? MashaAllah, you have a bachelor, you said, in Islamic Finance? Or master?
I am a qualified auditor and advisor in Sharia financing.
Okay. Now, can I ask one question?
Master, it is masters, equivalent to masters.
Equivalent to masters, mashallah. Now, can I ask one question? Have you heard the hadith on Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam about lending money?
Lending money, yeah. Tell me which hadith you are talking about.
He said, when a person lends someone money, that other person should return with two things.
Yeah.
The amount given and a thank you, a salam.
Yes.
Have you heard this hadith before?
See, Islamic banking doesn't give you loan. It invests in you. Okay?
Abbas, with all due respect, brother. Abbas, with all due respect, wallahi, I'm not arguing with you. Don't think I am. I'm on your side here. But to be honest, Abbas, it sounds like backdoor riba. It just sounds like a new invented word for riba.
No, how can it be backdoor riba? You come to me.
Of course it can be.
Habibi,
because it has Islam on the brand doesn't mean that it's Islam. It doesn't mean that it's Islam.
You asked me one thing, now I am asking you one thing. Let's say, what's your name?
Ahmed.
Ahmed came to Abbas. Abbas, I need money. Abbas has money. Oh, okay, let's say Abbas come to Ahmed. Ahmed, I need money. Ahmed has money. But Ahmed says, no, I don't want to give money. Why should I give money to you? I'm doing a business. I invest my money in the business and I get profit.
Yes.
Why should I give money to you in free? Like if I charge you something.
Because giving money to a person for free is one of the greatest deeds in Islam. That's the reason.
Keep it that aside. It's one of the greatest things and all these things. Okay, fine. But Islam doesn't say no to investment, right?
Investment and loan is completely different,
No.
Abbas.
It's different thing. Again, Hatija gave Muhammad trading goods, right?
Yes.
But Muhammad came back with profit.
Okay, and do you know how to trade goods? There's a hadith that you trade dates with dates, gold with gold. It's a long hadith.
So that is why Islamic banking doesn't deal in gold and silver.
But they deal with paper. They deal with paper. They deal with paper. Do you know, Abbas, this is a big topic, but
Habibi.
Abbas, I'm not your habibi. MashaAllah, you have a wife. I'm not your habibi. Abbas, the reason why I say this is that also, do you know, because MashaAllah, you have a master's, paper money is also haram?
See, if you are saying paper is haram, then keeping a banknote in your pocket is also haram.
Oh, no, this is the interesting part of the conversation, is because there's only a limited amount that we can do as the followers of the world. It's up to the leaders. The leaders, obviously, they make the choices. There's some choices we can make as followers, there's some we can't make. Money is changed the entire system of the world. So we're forced. We have no choice. We don't have any choice in the matter.
We have no choice.
But in loans, we have a choice.
In loans we have a choice. The Islamic banking is not dealing in loans. They are doing a murabaha agreement with you. They are doing a murabaha agreement. They are doing a mudaraba agreement.
Mudaraba, murabaha, wallahi Abbas, any name you can mention any name.
You want loan for business? Okay. You want loan in business? We want to invest in your business. Halas.
Yes, but with all due respect, you can name it anything. They've named it murabaha, they named it mudarabat.
So this is what they told me. It is here in Arab during the era of Prophet. Everything. Most of the terms that Islamic banking uses are what there in the Prophet era as well.
No.
It is very easy. I have a company. Okay, my company is fine management consultant.
When they did it, or if they did it, they did it in completely different means. Completely different means. Now, an Islamic bank, not too sure if you know this, I'm pretty sure you do know this, mashallah, being in the business. Now, an Islamic bank, they can get any so-called Islamic bank, they can get any fatwa from any scholar. They can go to Bangladesh, pay some guy under the table, and he says he gives a fatwa.
See, somebody has really brainwashed you. See, again, Ahmad, there are banks which are dealing incorrectly, and I agree with you.
Oh.
Okay? But there are rankings of the banks like DIB, ADIB. They are doing a very good business.
ADIB?
DIB is, you actually don't know. So I know the Sharia board of DIB. It is very strict. I don't want to take the name of another bank which is not doing very good business.
Do you know the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? He said, Abbas, a side question, just a side question, because it's Salah now, just a side question. Do you think there's Islamic law, Sharia today? Do you think so?
What? Again, I didn't get you.
You mentioned ADIB, Abu Dhabi. Do you think Abu Dhabi Bank has Islamic law inside it? Yeah, no, just yes or no, because you're in it, mashallah. Yeah, so there's Islamic.
I started with this.
Okay.
They are not perfect.
No. It's just an interesting question. It's ADIB, Abu Dhabi Bank. Does it have Islamic law? Yes or no?
They have an Islamic law.
Okay, good. Now, how can the bank have Islamic law, but the country does not have Islamic law?
See, I don't want to discuss politics on that. The thing is, the countries are linked to the
Abbas.
global monetary system.
Monetary system, which is a kuffar system, which is the American dollar.
Again, you see, you cannot change the world with the one swing. See, you have to take step by step. But if today you said, kafir, kuffar, I'm not going. So you are not helping the system which is trying to get mature.
Did the Prophet do it?
Islamic banking is very nascent right now. It is just 15 years old.
Abbas, and who's at the head of it though, Abbas? This is an interesting thing. The British people are at the head of it. People with the names of John, Tom, Thomas, and they don't have any beards.
It doesn't matter. What matters is who is the head of the Sharia board. Because that is the biggest position in any Islamic bank. The Sharia board.
But how can there be a Sharia board when there's no Sharia nation?
See, they have laws. In Islam, okay, when the people were living in Makkah during the Prophet, okay, and other, they used to hire non-Islamic people as well. Remember,
non-Islamic people, yes. The non-Islamic people was always a part of empires. There's no doubt about it. The Jews used to work with the Muslims, but not in regards to Islamic matters. That's the difference. They used to do for business, they used to do for other things, but not for Islamic matters.
There are two things. One is setting a standard. Sharia board is there to monitor that everybody is following the standards that's set by them. Okay? And the people down below are there to follow. So if they are following, it doesn't matter whether it's Ahmed or John. They are following. Simple.
No, not sah. Because there's a lot of banks, a lot of Islamic banks, that they themselves, even though they're Islamic banks, they still have the option of giving non-Islamic loans. That's the first interesting thing. Second interesting, yes, they do. Yes,
give me one example.
Mashriq Bank.
Mashriq Bank is not Islamic bank.
Okay, but they have Islamic finances right next door, right in the same one. Anyway, this is something.
They have Islamic.
You're right on this one. No problem.
You said a wrong thing.
Abbas, I said a wrong thing. No, you're right.
Commercial bank with an Islamic window.
You're right. I said this one I was wrong. You got me in this one. But still, it comes to the same thing.
I will get you everything, Habibi, because somebody has really brainwashed you.
No. If you give something, if you give a loan, you're not allowed to get anything back in return.
Yeah, but they are not giving you loan, Habibi.
It's a backdoor loan, yeah, Abbas. It's another word for a loan. It's the same thing. It's no difference than the Shias. It's no difference in the Shias.
You become
Abbas.
My partner.
Brother. Abbas, wallah, I really have to go for prayer. They're just starting on the second ayah.
But just 1/2 minute.
Okay, so it's the same thing what the Shias are saying when it comes to mut'ah. Mut'ah, they're saying you can get married temporarily. So then they manipulate the law. They say, okay, I want to marry for 1 hour with the woman and then divorce her. It's the same thing. You're playing with something incredibly thin. And when the Rasul ﷺ said, when giving a loan...
I want to get into the mut'ah thing. I can...
No, but that's what you're saying in regards to the loan.
But listen to me. See,
Abbas, one thing is for certain. Abbas, one thing is for certain that you mentioned in the beginning. Wallah, sorry to cut you off, Abbas. I know you're older than me and everything, so please forgive me. But one thing is for certain, is that nobody knows 100% where the bank funds goes to. Nobody knows 100%, even if the bank, Islamic bank, is doing Islamic things or not. And it's known, and it's absolutely known, 100% it's known that some so-called Islamic banks are delving in things that are not so Islamic. And it makes it even worse. Wallahi, you don't even need brains to understand this last part. And I've said it now twice before, which is how can the bank be Islamic, but the country and the people ruling over the bank and who owns the bank is not Islamic. It sounds very funny. Very funny.
Are owned by Muslim people, and the head of Sharia board, which is the extreme.
So what if it's owned by Muslim people? Muslim people are not corrupt?
Huh?
So Muslim people are not corrupt? Or Muslim people go to heaven? Absolutely not. You know the hadith. I'll finish off with this last hadith, Ya Abbas, because now I think they're finishing off the second what is it? Rak'ah. I'll finish off with this last hadith. Just because an Islamic scholar says such and such is halal doesn't necessarily mean that it's halal. There was scholars that were behind dictators, evil dictators, in the past and in the present. And even more so, that's the first thing I'll say, and the last thing I'll say, brother, Abbas, is that the Rasul ﷺ said when the Yawm al-Qiyamah will come, there'll be a lot of the scholars will be corrupt.
The people which are alim, you can only criticize them if you reach to that stage. Right now, you are not alim. You are not alim.
I can show you an alim. I can give you an alim that has criticized this. I can give you an alim. Abbas, really, if you're sincere, send me a message right now because my phone has been wiped out. Send me a message right now, and I'll send you one alim that says this. And let's see, if you're sincere, listen to him with an open heart, with fear of Allah. Don't, even if it's against your job, whatever it is, you have to listen to him. If somebody else opposes you, you have to be sincere enough to listen to that person.
Yeah. You have to
Okay, so perfect. Send me a WhatsApp. I'll send you a link. Well, I have to go. I really have to go, Abba. Send me a WhatsApp. I'll send you a WhatsApp. Okay, okay, perfect. Alhamdulillah. Okay, I'll send you a video, inshallah, tonight, huh?
Inshallah.
Alright, then Abbas. Forgive me for giving you a headache.
You did all constructive. You learned with
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Yalla, Abbas. Hope you have a nice day. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah.